and welcome guys to episode number 3 of our Bakerloo line journey. Episode number 1 we did of course the introduction to the line, number 2 we did the introduction to the train, and now finally we're out on our day in the life of scenarios. So this one's called Zone 1, we're going to go ahead and start it, and yeah, that's what we're doing today. I hope everyone really enjoys this video. We'll let it load in. Here we are at the London Road Depot. Welcome to London Road Depot. This is a northbound service which will travel to and terminate at Queen's Park. So, heading to Queen's Park today. Not a very long journey, about half hour really, something like that. The entire line length is about 50 minutes, something like that. So it's not massive. But we'll go ahead and set this to off and release. Now, I've tried this scenario before. And at least at first, the train didn't start moving for some reason. Although, that's only happened to me once, it appears. Now remember, we are going to Queen's Park, so I want to set this over to Queen's Park. There it is. Although the game never tells you to do that, it's quite nice to do. And it's got a speed limit of 5 inside the depot here. Make sure I like the cab light to be on right, and that's kind of the best place for it to be, in my opinion. Again, it doesn't really matter, it depends on what you guys prefer, really. It's just what I happen to prefer. So we're coming out of the London Road Depot to start our day as a London Underground Bakerloo line driver, and we're coming up to a point where we must stop. We need to be let out of the depot, of course. So we'll just make a stop there, and we need to wait now for the signal to turn green before we're let in. There we go. You can see there's the it's now changed. So off we go. Just a speed limit of 5 at first, and then of course we are sticking to London Underground, operations, meaning that as soon as a speed limit comes into force, we follow it, rather than doing what Train Sim does, which is wait until the entire train. Obviously, normally on a national rail, not just on a regular railway, you would follow that, so that the whole train has to pass the speed limit point before you're allowed up. On the underground, that is not the case, I don't believe. Again, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's how they do it, so that's how I'll be doing it until someone tells me otherwise. So yeah, we're just, and it does make sense as well with the speed limits on this line, how they are. It makes sense that that's true. So we'll go ahead and just sort of head along. We should see a 50 limit, no, a 10 limit. More like 50. This thing's not. Obviously, we are heading as well on a massive downhill gradient, of course, as we're going from the overground depot to the underground tunnels. There is T. Now, T seems to mean a number of different things. It's just a speed limit point. It also seems to mean 30, weirdly. So I don't exactly know how you know the difference between the two. But up to 10 we go. At least the game thinks it's a 10-mile-an-hour limit. So up to 10 we go now. Of course, the game will say we're speeding until the entire train passes this point. Just ignore that. As I said, that's how they do it on the London Underground, I believe, so that's how I'm going to be doing it in this. So we're going to keep it 10 mile an hour. You can see we have got a red signal up here. Remember, we do need clearance to actually join the line itself. That's why that is there. So we're just going along, and you can see there now the train is on the 10-mile-an-hour limit. The game actually recognises that it is a 10-mile-an-hour limit. Now, luckily, this game doesn't dock you points for, unlike Train Sim, it just doesn't give you as many points rather than docking them. So it doesn't affect you nearly as bad to speed. You can see it still gave me 500 points there, look. So that's alright. And there we go. We're now cleared into Waterloo Station. So up we go. It's a 30 limit now. Although I didn't see the sign for 30, it says it's a 30 limit. That's one thing that's tricky, honestly. If you turn the HUD off, I can't imagine this being particularly easy. Some of the speed limit signs are very difficult to see when it's this dark. You can see there's the little buffers off the side there. We've got a 20 limit apparently now, according to this game. So we'll go ahead and head ourselves back to that. And although apparently the game's now saying it's a 15 limit, so I guess I'm going to listen to the game on this one. Nope, back at the 20 limit. Now, it makes no sense, the speed limits, I'll be honest. It's not awfully clear sometimes, but never mind. Never mind. This is just the start of the route. Remember, we are still. I think we are onto the main Bakerloo line now. I think we have joined up with it. Up to 25 mile an hour then, and then up to 30 by the looks of it. So straight up to 30 mile an hour now. As we approach Waterloo Station, You can see the speed should come up now, and obviously this is where we're picking up our first passengers of the day. So we'll go ahead and just head back to open release as we approach the station. And there's actually a speed limit of 20 approaching Waterloo. I did not realise that. And if you look at the boards, it'll only be our train that shows up on the boards. We are going to be slightly late here in Waterloo, but trust me, I've done this scenario once, and the timetable catches up on itself on this particular thing. Towards the end, we'll probably start running at least 1 minute early and have to wait a little bit longer at stations. So you can see there, locked doors. Let those shut. Next station stop, Embankment. Embankment, next station stop. Right, away we go. 25 limit out of this station now. You can see there's the white signs. Some of them are very easy to see, but others I just don't even think exist. Or maybe it's just me. And then shortly afterwards we are going to have a 30 limit. Now somewhere along here there is a very short gap between stations. Embankment as well is actually quite a tricky station to slow down for, as it is on a slope on the way in. So do be careful on the brakes into Embankment. Right, up to 30 mile an hour now. Here obviously we are, I have found generally the other direction is more downhill than this direction, but they are both equally up and down in parts. But you can see, how am I significantly over the speed limit? I'm exactly on the limit, so that confuses me, but never mind. So you can see we're on a downhill slope right now. It does actually start to level off by the time we reach the station. Also, some stations are on massive corners, and you have to watch those. This one isn't on a massive corner, but some of them you can barely see to the end too. When you come in, you can't really see anything. Paddington's like that. We will be passing Paddington on this particular journey, so I will show you guys. I believe it's Paddington anyway. Go and open the left doors. Hello and welcome to Embankment, everybody. Go and have a little look outside, press 3 on the keyboard and we can have a little look back. You can see that the destination there, you can see there, it says Queen's Park for our train, but it isn't working for any other trains in this scenario. I don't know why, but in scenarios it doesn't work. You can see they're wait until 6:07, so I tend to shut the doors about between 5 and 15 seconds before that, but no earlier. I don't like to depart any earlier than 15 seconds early. Now this one we are going to be waiting at Charing Cross for a little bit, because the timetable gives us 1 minute and 45 seconds for what is a very short gap between stations. Charing Cross is one of the shortest gaps, definitely, on this line. You can see, look, the speed limit is 30 along here. And I'm still trying to accelerate. It is uphill, which is why it takes longer. And you can see, yeah, this is definitely a short gap. You can see I'm not even reached 30, and I'm already having to release the throttle. So I don't know why the gap. I don't know. The tutorial, the timetables on this particular route, they are going to be tweaked, the timetables, to fit real life service patterns in the future. However, currently they are a slightly reduced timetable because just that Train Sim is still experimenting with their timetables. Again, the reason I know that, there is Q&As on their website. No, not website, sorry. Q&As on their YouTube channel. Just search Train Simulator and search by channel on YouTube and you'll easily find that. So you can see here, we're going to be waiting now until at least 08:45. I like to depart no later than 15 seconds earlier. No, earlier I mean than 50 seconds early, you know what I meant. So you can see there's, we're looking outside, it's very nice graphics on Ultra. Of course, I'm getting wonderful performance. Out of the tunnels, the performance does dip a little bit. Obviously, in the tunnels, it hasn't really got to draw anything. If you go above these tunnels, it's probably just a white, blank world. So, in terms of PC performance, underground tunnels are very, very good for performance. Obviously, because, as I said, they don't really need to draw much other than tunnels, do they? You can see there, 10 seconds remaining. Go ahead and close the doors. Then clear the doors. And off we go. Speed limit is 20 out of this station. Next stop, Piccadilly Circus. So yeah, so it's quite a low speed limit out of here. It was a bit higher, but then it just suddenly dipped, didn't it? So you can see here, next station stop, Piccadilly Circus. I'm expecting this. I think the length of this route is about half hour, something like that. We have got a 30 limit coming up as well, about 750 yards, but that's not before Piccadilly Circus. Just try and maintain 20 if I can. Obviously that little circle there with the 2 arrows you see here, that does tell us whether we're slowing down or going quicker. Piccadilly Circus, I believe, is one of those stations on a corner. Actually, never mind, it isn't. It was just a corner leading up to it. I think it was Paddington that's definitely quite a lot on the corner. You can see there we're on a very uphill slope coming into here. Now we don't need nearly as much braking room because we're only doing 20. That's one thing with this sort of that's one you got to remember with this line. The braking distance massively varies on whether you come in at 20, which is generally the minimum line speed, or 35, which is the maximum line speed. It's not really noticeable so much when you come in, but it's definitely noticeable when you try to stop. And you can see we're going to be waiting here for another 15 seconds because the timetable, as I said, we were very late. We were a good 20 seconds late in Waterloo, but it does start to even itself out. You can see there's the very nice 1972 stock from the outside, approaching into Piccadilly Circus, heading the other way. To the, I think, quite a funny name, the other end of the Bakerloo line. So we're heading we're heading Harrow and Wheelstone Way, but terminating at Queen's Park, which is short of Harrow and Wheelstone. The other direction, the terminus. I'll give you a second to see if you know. It's called Elephant and Castle, or Elephant and Castle, however you pronounce it. It's quite funny, I think. I don't know why I think that name is funny, but I think it's funny. And I'm not sure who called a place Elephant and Castle, or Elephant and Castle. It's quite hilarious, really, isn't it? I mean, Elephant and Castle. I mean, I'm pretty sure the announcer pronounces it Elephant and Castle, so that's how I just pronounce it, because the announcer just pronounced it like that. But you can see there's 30 mile an hour. Obviously, I'm going to go straight up because that's London Underground procedures. Up we go to 30 miles per hour. Next stop, Oxford Circus. You go from Piccadilly Circus to Oxford Circus. There's 2 circuses in a row on the Bakerloo line. But yeah, very straight length of track this actually. We're going uphill, which is why we are definitely struggling to gain speed here. In fact, I think our top speed may actually be 27 up this hill. Yeah, the performance of this thing does vary dramatically on whether you're going up a hill or not. We'll go ahead and level it out. You can see this station's on a little bit of a curve, and it's on a little bit of a hill as well. You can see there. We're going to start slowing ourselves down now. And when you get down to the lower numbers of speed, the braking gets very, very quick. So never go below. I don't really like to stop on anything past 2, and then I put it down to 1 then for the station. We're pretty much on time here at Piccadilly Circus. No, Oxford Circus. We'll be able to just depart straight away. Speed limit at the station is 20 miles per hour. We're just waiting for the that. There you go. You can see there 5 seconds early. I'm absolutely fine with that. Away we go, next stop, Regent's Park. 0.6 miles away actually, so one of the longest gaps between stations on the network, believe it or not. Not on the network, I mean on this line. I don't know what the longest gap between stations is on the London Underground, but there's definitely, I've played, if you guys know OpenBVE, I've played the Victoria line on that, and there's definitely some long station gaps which on the Victoria. Or I'm not really sure how accurate the OpenBVE version is, totally. You can see here we're turning a corner, which is the reason for us going 20 mile an hour, but then there's a speed limit increase up to 30 miles per hour. Just up here. So we'll make you can hear a train going the other way, look. So up to 30, now. So up to 30 mile an hour, and then we'll back off again. Currently we're just heading quite a flat surface right now at 30 mile an hour into Regent's Park. So look, 300 yards from the station, and then slowly closing on, and it will just idle the power now. Let us come in nice and gently. But, you know, this thing coasts very well, I have to say. It coasts for a long distance if it wants to. Right, into Regent's Park we go. And start slowing it down. And stop. Open left doors. Hello and welcome everyone to Regent's Park. You can see there, Regent's Park. All the stations are as well. They've all been modelled like as in real life, such as the famous Sherlock Holmes at Baker Street. So go ahead and shut the doors and depart. Next stop is Baker Street. And there you go, that station I just mentioned. Right, speed limit is 30 mph on this entire stretch of line now to Baker Street, and then it's 35 between Baker Street, Marylebone, Edgware Roads and Paddington. They're the next few stops after this. I know this section of the Bakerloo quite well. It's the section of the Bakerloo I do sometimes travel on when I visit London. But there we go, so we're heading up now, 30 mph. So heading along here at 30, very nice, into Baker Street now. I believe it's Paddington that's on a slope, it's on a massive corner. I said I've done this this scenario once before, so I can remember some of the stations about the place. But here you go, hello and welcome to Baker Street. This one's also on a corner by the looks of it, so we'll start slowing down. I like to slow a bit early in these corner stations, just because you can't really see the end of the platform totally, so you don't exactly know how soon it's going to be. I believe there is a depot after the Bakerloo line. I'm not totally sure though. If there is, that would explain. Well, there must be a sliding, because I saw there it said if you turn left, there's a 10 mph limit. It's 35 for us, so at the station, speed limit is 35. Hello, welcome to Baker Street. Let's have a little look at Sherlock Holmes himself. Oh, I can't see it. We'll have to take a tour, walking, do a little quick walk tour of this map maybe. I'll go and close the doors then. So I can close the doors. Next station is, I believe, Marylebone, or maybe Edgware Road. I'm not sure which one comes first. I think it's Edgware Road, then Marylebone. Although I'm not totally sure. Oh, Marylebone. So it's Marylebone, then Edgware Road, and then Paddington. So off we go, up to 35 miles per hour. Not a massive gap between stations here, so you know we might not get up to the full 35. But we might do, just. However, we were going uphill there. This thing does massively struggle to get to 35, which is, I think its top speed is something like 35. Or for some reason the speedo, which I can't work out, goes up to 60. I really don't know why the speedo on this thing goes up to 60, because I don't think this thing is capable of 60. But in we come to London Marylebone. Go ahead and start slowing ourselves down a little bit. There's also a fourth section of braking, but it's a bit harsh. Right, I'll go ahead and stop. Open the left doors. We are actually a little bit late, because the gap between those two stations is a bit longer than the timetable. The timetable for this map is not great, I'll give you that. I'll say that. It could do with being, you know, some stations you end up being 15, 20, 30 seconds late. Other stations you end up being 30 seconds early. You can see, look, there's the same gap and the same speed limit between Baker Street and Marylebone as there is Marylebone to Edgware Road, and yet somehow the previous one I mentioned has about a 45-second gap. This one has a minute and a half. It doesn't make any sense, really. So we'll probably be very early here at Edgware Road. You can already see, look, because it's such a straight path, you can already see Edgware Road. It's really silly, but you know, that's how that is. So never mind, I guess. Obviously, the stations are all very close together on the tube. That's why it's actually quite a short line, and yet there is a lot of stations. Quite nice, I guess, if you like stopping a lot. Right, start slowing ourselves down. It is a nice map, though. Honestly, this is, as I said, the Bakerloo line was the main reason I decided to get Train Sim World 2. Oh, bit of an overshoot. Little bit of an overshoot. Not too bad. I got the doors all in, so not too bad. I don't know why I overshot though. I started braking at the same point I normally would. Oh well. I haven't passed the signal. It's when you pass the signal that it's classed as a proper overshoot. Got another 15 seconds to wait here as well. But But yeah, give it about 10 seconds and then we'll start departing. There we go. Okay, the doors are shut. Right, off we go. Next stop, Paddington. You can see there, Paddington, 560 yards. Just again, still a 30 limit down here at the moment. Paddington. We won't actually see Paddington until we're a bit too close for what you think. Paddington's also, I think, one of the shortest platforms on the Bakerloo line. You can see that we're getting closer, and that marker there, I am going to get rid of that actually. I like to get rid of it. Less things on the screen. We can see it from up there at the top left, so we don't need it there, do we? But you can see, I don't even notice it's on half the time, but it's quite nice not to have it on, I think. Right, down to 20 mile an hour, there's a little limit there. And the reason we're down to 20 mile an hour, you can see there, look, we're 180 yards from Paddington, and obviously we can't see a station, so, Paddington's a bit of a weird one like that. You do notice it coming in. It's very last minute that you start to see the station. It's quite a short platform, really, but you can see the whole station. Yeah, I was right about it being Paddington. The whole station is on a corner, so make sure you're very careful breaking into Paddington in particular. I mean, we are still 20 seconds early, so there's no issue really. Go ahead and open the right doors, and there we go. We're in Paddington. I love the. I quite like the little adverts like they have in real life. They're not real life adverts, I don't think, a lot of them. Well, I think a few of them might be. Right, 15 seconds to departure. We'll just shut the doors now. I believe the next stop is Maida Vale, or maybe it's Kilburn Park, I don't know. But we are closing in on Queen's Park. Warwick Avenue. Oh, it's Warwick Avenue then, not Maida Vale or any of those other stations. Now, the speed limit out of here is actually 20. It goes up to 35. Briefly, there's 35. Right, go ahead and increase our speed then. Up to 35. .35 is literally the highest ever speed you'll reach on this network. But there we go. Up to 35, it is a lot quicker. It's noticeably quicker, 35 rather than 30 or 20. It's definitely noticeably quicker. Although it's still not that quick, really, is it? In reality. Right, we'll go ahead and push off the throttle. You can see 400 yards to Warwick Avenue. We are heading slightly uphill, so I'll just give it a bit of power. We can't really maintain 35 this thing if we're going uphill. Obviously, we will start to head uphill now because just before Queen's Park, we do actually head above ground. So this is where, obviously, I think maybe we are getting up and up as we get closer. And remember, this was a 35 limit, so we've got to brake a little bit earlier than we would normally. Not many stations have a 35 limit on the way in, but this is one of them. And stop. There we go. Open the right doors. And welcome everyone to Warwick Avenue. I think we are quite early, actually, so we'll just wait here a little bit. And there you go, we've got to wait. We'll wait another few seconds before departing. So yeah, next station, this map here, so you can see next station is Maida Vale. Although this map doesn't seem to show all the objectives, weirdly. It used to. Right, close the doors. Oh well. Yeah, you used to be able to scroll that map, but you can't anymore. Oh, that's a shame. So you can there. Oh no, that's because I moved on the objective. So next up is Maida Vale and Kilburn Park. And then I believe it might actually be the end, yeah. So after Kilburn Park is where we head above ground, by the way. So yeah, we're coming to the end of our journey now. It is about a half-hour journey, not too long, from the London Road depot all the way up to Queen's Park. Did that limit say 35? I think it was still 30, wasn't it? Well, I think we'll know once we pass it fully. I'll know if it's a 35 or not. Well, I think it was a 30, judging by the fact it hasn't changed yet. I'm pretty sure it was 30. So you can see there, just Going along 500 yards to Maida Vale. We're going uphill, remember, so we are going to be losing, between here now and Queen's Park, we're going to be constantly heading uphill, because it's where the Bakerloo line goes above ground. But you can see there it is, Maida Vale, heading in. So I'll go ahead and idle power here. Obviously 30 is not quite as quick. I don't know why, but 35 is noticeably quicker than 30 or 20 or any other speed. I think this train's performance is just rubbish above 30. Braking and throttle maybe. But we'll go ahead and go stop. Open the doors. There we go. Hello and welcome everyone. This is Maida Vale. Next stop, Kilburn Park. And then after that is Queen's Park, which is where we terminate. Great. Close the door straight away then. Next up, Kilburn Park. So away we go. Speed limit of 30 all the way down there. I haven't actually been further than Queen's Park, by the way, guys. I've only done the Elephant and Castle to Queen's Park section. I haven't actually been all the way up to Stonebridge Park and Harrow and Wealdstone and all of the above ground section of this map, so that'll be interesting to find out in some of the other scenarios, I'm sure. So we're approaching, you can see we're going uphill again now, so just constantly, after Kilburn Park, we're massively going uphill. That's where, after Kilburn Park, that's where this line goes above ground, so that's one thing you get with the underground. You do get quite, obviously because some of it is underground, some of it's overground, you get some noticeable elevation change, like there in the station. It's almost like a little speed bump on the way into Kilburn Park. And you can see at Kilburn Park Station we do slow down a lot quicker than you would typically expect, because of that hill on the entry, obviously, even though our elevation thing is registering 0, the back of the train is of course still on there until we've stopped. So there we go, Kilburn Park. Next station, Queen's Park, where this train terminates. Now there is no this system doesn't work. None of the PA systems work at all. Go and close the right door then, and off we go. Next stop, Queen's Park. That'll be the end of this video. And between here, we're going to really struggle to get up to this 30 speed limit that we have now. Because of this massive, you can see there, 2% gradient, and that'll, I think it goes to about a 3.3% gradient, as we saw in the tutorial, on the way down on the other side. Obviously it's up on this side, down on the other side. There we go. And then there's also a 15 limit as well on the exit of the tunnel. So you can see there is Queen's Park, as we come out of, it said 3.3% gradient definitely on our way down. Oh, there you go, there it is, 3.3%. So you can see it's a massive gradient actually. Even on max power, we're actually slowing down. Well, 3.7% there. You can see we'll just go 0 throttle here because we're maintaining 15. And you can see the FPS has actually dipped a bit. Now we're above ground, so maybe I'll only be able to run high settings. I don't know. But here we are in Queen's Park. Now on these above ground stations as well, they are actually, the look of these boards change, so to display the stops and everything of the train, which I think is really cool. But again, I'll show you guys them working maybe if we do some quick drive stuff. They don't seem to work that well in scenario mode. They only seem to properly work in quick drive mode for some reason. Maybe they can only work with one timetable, who knows. But we'll go ahead and slow down. And open the door, and that is it. Now I thought, when I did this scenario, that I'll have to go into the depot, but it appears not. It appears that this is at the end of the line, so for us, just head outside, just admire the view, admire the train departing. We're back inside now, because I will need to, I believe I do need to shut off the cab, or not. Okay, and you can see there actually I had pretty good stop accuracy. You can see there was only one station we overshot, Where was that? Actually, no, I was on the tutorial. You can see my stops are overall pretty good. Maybe a little bit 4 yards off, but pretty good really. You can see, look how many stops there are now close together they are, you know, on parts of this line. But there we go. That is it. That was a successful journey. Episode number 4 will be around Hall, which if I go to explore and scenarios will tell me take control of a service to Harrow and Wealdstone, and then the service return and then the return to Queen's Park. So we're basically going Queen's Park to Harrow and Wealdstone to Queen's Park. Now remember, these do all lead on from each other. So in this one we ended up at Queen's Park. This one starts from Queen's Park. Then this one goes from Queen's Park to Elephant and Castle. This one goes Elephant and Castle back to Harrow and Wealdstone. And then this one goes Harrow and Wealdstone to Queen's Park. So there's quite a few. It all goes around in a circle. It's like a day in the life, if you like. This one particularly, this is the full length of the run. So that should be good fun. Whenever we get round to doing that, it's quite difficult though, by the looks of it. 4-block difficulty. And you can see at the moment there's only 201 timetabled services. That will be upgraded to about 450 timetabled services when they manage to bring that in eventually. But I hope all you guys do really enjoy this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye!